What's up, football fans? Buckle up, because today we're diving into one of the biggest early season clashes in the Premier League. Manchester City versus Tottenham Hotspur. This isn't just another game. It's a heavyweight showdown between two clubs that have everything to prove this season. The Etihad Stadium is set, the crowd is buzzing, and the atmosphere is electric. Can Pep Guardiola's City reassert their dominance after a shaky campaign last year? Or will Tottenham, under fresh leadership, continue their rise and show they belong among England's elite? Let's break it all down. Manchester City comes into this game with huge expectations. Last season, despite being four-time defending champions, they stumbled and looked unusually vulnerable. They clawed their way to secure a Champions League spot, but it wasn't the clean sweep we've come to expect from Pep's side. That's why this season feels like redemption time. With the summer transfer window bringing in new talent, City is determined to silence the critics. The question is, can they find that killer instinct again, or will Tottenham be the team to expose their cracks? Tottenham, meanwhile, is a team reborn. After a disastrous Premier League campaign last season, finishing barely above the relegation zone, many thought Spurs were spiraling. But then came their surprise triumph in the Europa League, capped with a victory over Manchester United in the final. That win restored confidence and brought Champions League football back to North London. With Thomas Franck now steering the ship, Spurs look refreshed, disciplined, and motivated. But facing City at the Etihad is one of the toughest challenges in football. The managers play a massive role here. Pep Guardiola is still considered one of the greatest minds in football, but after last season's setbacks, people are watching closely. Can he reinvent City again? On the other side, Thomas Franck is still relatively new to Spurs, but already has the respect of his players after delivering silverware in his very first season. This match is as much a battle of tactics as it is of talent. Will Franck go bold and attack City, or will he play it safe and look to frustrate Pep's men? Now let's talk about players to watch. For City, all eyes are on Erling Haaland, the goal machine who continues to terrorize defenses. Kevin De Bruyne remains the creative heartbeat, pulling the strings in midfield. Then there's Phil Foden, whose energy and sharpness can turn a game on its head. For Tottenham, the spotlight is on Son Heung-min, still the club's talisman and a lethal finisher. Richarlison is expected to step up this season, while new signings add fresh energy. This mix of established stars and new faces makes the contest unpredictable. One key narrative is how Tottenham handles City's relentless possession game. Pep's style is all about controlling the tempo, pinning opponents back, and waiting for that opening. Spurs, however, may look to exploit the spaces behind City's high defensive line. Fast counterattacks, using Son's pace, could be their best weapon. If Tottenham can stay disciplined at the back and strike quickly on the break, they could really make this a nail-biter. Historically, Tottenham has been one of the few teams to trouble City in the Premier League era. They've pulled off some shock wins in recent years, including at the Etihad. That gives Spurs fans a reason to believe. But let's not forget, City at home is a different beast. They feed off their crowd, and once they build momentum, it's extremely hard to stop them. This balance of history versus home advantage adds another layer of intrigue. Beyond the tactics and stats, this game is about setting the tone for the season. City wants to make a statement, to show they're still the dominant force in England. Spurs want to prove their Europa League win wasn't a fluke, that they belong at the top of the Premier League table. Both teams opened with wins last weekend, so keeping that momentum going is critical. A victory here could send a message across the entire league. Let's talk about pressure. For Pep, the pressure is about legacy. Can he bring City back to the top and continue building his dynasty? For Spurs, it's about credibility. They've had false dawns before, but under Franck, the goal is consistency. No more being a one-hit wonder. This match could tell us a lot about whether Tottenham is truly ready to challenge the big boys week in and week out. And then, of course, there's the crowd factor. The Etihad might not be the loudest stadium in England, but when City's fans are up for it, The atmosphere is intimidating. Spurs will need to weather that storm, especially in the opening 20 minutes. If they can survive that initial wave and frustrate City, the pressure could swing back on Guardiola's men. That's when nerves creep in and mistakes happen. From a tactical perspective, watch for the midfield battle. De Bruyne and Rodri controlling possession against Tottenham's new-look midfield could decide the game. If Spurs can disrupt that rhythm, force turnovers, and break quickly, they'll have chances. But if City dictate the pace, it could be a long afternoon for the visitors. Games like this are often won or lost in the middle of the park. Let's not overlook the goalkeepers. Ederson remains one of the best in the world with his passing range and composure under pressure. For Spurs, the keeper will need to be at his absolute best to keep City at bay. Sometimes in these clashes, a world-class save or a critical mistake between the posts changes everything. Don't be surprised if the shot stoppers end up being the unsung heroes or the scapegoats. Now, zooming out a bit, this game also matters for the bigger Premier League picture. Chelsea has already claimed top spot with their win over West Ham. Arsenal and Manchester United are lurking too. A win here keeps either City or Spurs in touch with the early leaders, while a loss could create doubts right away. In a league as competitive as this, every point counts, even in August. For American fans tuning in, this is one of those must-watch matchups that showcase why the Premier League is the most popular soccer league in the world. The skill, the drama, the intensity, it's all there. Whether you're watching on USA Network, streaming online, or following along on highlights, expect a show. No commercials can capture the live drama of City pressing forward and Spurs looking for that killer counter. So as we head into kickoff, the stage is perfectly set. Manchester City, the reigning giants trying to reclaim their aura, versus Tottenham Hotspur, the underdogs with a point to prove. It's not just a game. It's a story of redemption, ambition, and high-stakes football at its finest. No matter the outcome, one thing's for sure: the Premier League never disappoints. Stay tuned, because this clash could define the season before it even gets going.